If you don't recognize them, the tall guy on the left is vice presidential candidate Bill Weld. The shorter one is former New Mexico governor and presidential nominee Gary Johnson.
This is the number one, too. I have a question. I mean, this is really like a question, an open letter to millennials or to people that are going to vote for third-party candidates. I know they have strong support in the millennial demographic, and that is why would you vote for a third-party candidate in this particular election? I'm all for the democratic process, and I'm all for the principle that anyone could run for president, and every citizen should be able to vote for whomever they want to. I get that.
Forget it. Keep thinking you know everything. Some people are so far behind in a race that they actually believe they're leading.
These particular third-party candidates seem to me got into the race too late. And that's a reflection to me of their preparedness to get into office. I can understand that you might not, as a voter, might not like Donald Trump and you might not like Hillary Clinton, and that you want to vote for somebody, and so therefore you want to vote for these two individuals instead of them. However, I think, and this is just my opinion, that's why I don't understand it, that when you vote for President of the United States, this isn't a poll like who do you like the best. You are actually participating in the selection of somebody who will be our chief executive officers for the next 4 years. And it seems to me that Gary Johnson and Jill Stein were not serious about this candidacy. If they had been, they would have gotten in earlier. They would have set up some infrastructure. They would have done better campaigning, and they would have had stated their case to the American public. I will be frank with you. If Jill Stein walked up to me on the street today, I wouldn't know who she is. I've seen her picture before, and I know who she is because it'll usually say Jill Stein somewhere near her likeness. But that's about it.
I would feel terrible if Donald Trump gets elected, and terrible if Hillary Clinton gets elected. Donald Trump says despicable things, but Hillary Clinton has a terrifying track record.
I don't know her. I don't think a majority of the American people know her, or even Gary Johnson for that matter. And Jill Stein isn't even on every ballot for the election in the fall, in November. But I think it's most important, or very important, if you are going to be the commander-in-chief of this particular nation, which we consider the most powerful country in the world. Certainly, I believe it is. I think it makes sense that you would be known to the leadership of the international community. Now, one might say that could be easily accomplished by a meeting. I tend to disagree.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
It seems to me that if Jill Stein or Gary Johnson were serious about being president of the United States rather than making a statement, they would have gotten into this race a lot earlier.
Let me be a little skeptical here. I mean, right now, the people
we expected no less.
right. Yeah, the people that do this for a living, that try and do polling and public opinion surveys, it make odds. Some of the most prominent experts put your chances at about less than 1%. Less than 1%.
I think that Donald Trump started out that way, and I would have given him that. That percentage at the very start. But as crazy as this election season is, I think it could be the ultimate crazy, and that is that the two of us actually do get elected.
Right. And how does that happen?
Gary Johnson and Bill Weld were on 60 Minutes last night, and they stated their case, I guess, to why one should vote for them to be president of the United States. I don't think it was a good case. I think that they have some valid criticisms for the way business has been conducted in Washington, but that seems like a grassroots movement to me.
What would define your campaign?
standing up to the billionaire class.
Billionaires, 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 billionaires.
I am not a billionaire.
Millionaires, 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 millionaires,
Millionaires and billionaires at the same time.
Much like Bernie Sanders' candidacy or attempt to be the Democratic nominee. Now, when I'm speaking to millennials and I ask them, why are you voting for Jill Stein? Or why are you voting for Gary Johnson? They'll tell me usually, because they usually were, at least in the case of the ones I've spoken to, were Bernie Sanders supporters. They'll say, well, we can't vote for Hillary Clinton because she isn't trustworthy. And I'll say, ask them to elaborate on that, and they really start kind of sputtering then, and they say, well, we just can't trust her, and look what they did to Bernie Sanders and in the campaign. I know that if I had been a Bernie Sanders supporter, I would have been a little bitter about it, but here's the thing. I'm not here to defend Hillary Clinton or defend the DNC. I'm here to question these candidacies because I don't understand the supporters. A lot of the people who tend to be millennials who wanted to support Bernie Sanders like the free school thing. They like the fact that he wanted to push state schools being free. Well, that sounds great. But if you want to talk about trustworthiness, I never heard a very good explanation on how he was going to pull that off. And I hate to break the news to you, but that will never happen. I'm here to tell you, and I'm not a soothsayer, and in my opinion, Bugs is saying that will never happen. Why? Because state schools, number one, they have no interest in being not profitable. Presidents and boards of regents and the upper management of these schools make their decisions. It's all to generate profit. That profit will go away if they become subsidized by the federal government or the state government. They are subsidized already, but if that's where the majority of their funding was coming from. Also, we just went through 2 terms of a president who tried his best to do a lot, but could not because he was blocked by one side of the aisle, which happened to, for 6 of those 8 years, have a majority in the Congress. Now, the Green Party and the Libertarian Party have no numbers there. And I guarantee you that anything they put through there, tried to put through, a lot of that went against the grain would not go through. It would be blocked in the same way. I was going to say for the same reasons, but that's not true. In the same way that they blocked a lot of the ideas and the legislation proposed by the Obama administration. One more thing about the free school thing, and then I'll get off of that. President Obama, when he was running, said he wanted to close Guantanamo Bay. And he has tried, and that's not worked. Now, I just know this. It's easier to cut things than to fund them. If you have a proposal to cut something, it has a better chance of getting passed or close something or shut down something or whatever. It has a better chance of passing than I need billions of dollars in order to get this to go through. Guantanamo Bay is still open. The funding for free schools has a snowball's chance in hell of passing. Pell Grants increasing, that's a strong possibility. But free schools, I don't think it'll happen. It's a great idea. I'm not poo-pooing the idea, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be attempted. But understand this, millennials. It's not something that the president can go in and just make happen. It's not going to happen that way. Here's the point of my question to third-party candidacy. Now, those of you who've been watching my videos know that I, at this moment, am supporting Hillary Clinton. I do believe that if you vote for one of these candidates, it's like voting for Donald Trump. However, if you're one of those people who is leaning toward Trump and decides, I can't vote for that guy, I'm going to vote for one of these third-party candidates, then you're voting for Hillary Clinton. It's one or the other. That's my point. So, if you got to vote your conscience, but understand that when those Supreme Court nominees get put up there and the person who you might have voted for, whether that be Clinton or Trump, doesn't make it, and the other person does, and those Supreme Court seats start getting filled with people who don't whose ideology or whose thinking isn't along your lines, let's see how well you sleep then. This is the number one, too. I'd really like to hear your thoughts about third-party candidates or these particular candidates, or why you support them or think it's a good idea to vote for them. You can put your comments on Facebook, on where I'm going to post this video, or on YouTube, where these videos always are. Please subscribe if you like this video. I would love to hear your feedback. Please like or dislike it with the little thumbs, and I'll see you next time. And for God's sake, when you cross the street, please use the crosswalk. Hey, Jack. Bye.
Of course, it would be absolutely vital that our top government and military men be included to foster and impart the required principles of leadership and tradition.